It's a Saturday morning in Sydney's inner south.
Guys, so we're going to go up now to this apartment.
The once industrial area is now dominated by high-rise apartments, many of them for rent, and they're hot property.
Sydney is certainly looking like a landlord market at the moment.
It's just not easy to find accommodation right now.
Renting this modest apartment in Zetland will set you back almost $800 a week, but that didn't deter about 30 people from eagerly attending the inspection.
Real estate right now, is a quite competitive field.
And it's been pretty hard because the prices keep going up.
Almost 1/3 of Australians rent their homes, but over the past year, rents have jumped by an average of 12%, while the number of rental properties available is at record lows. Those on the lowest incomes that are finding it the hardest to keep up. In the suburbs of the Gold Coast, mornings are always a stressful time for single mum Andrea Ferris.
Maybe pizza shapes.
Pretty chaotic mornings then for you?
Yes, on my own, yes. Oh, maybe we need a different jumper. This one's a bit dirty, but we'll zip it up.
But the morning school rush is the least of Andrea's worries.
We came 3 weeks from homelessness. I had nowhere else we could go. So yeah, it was pretty scary. I was looking at moving all me and the kids into a bedroom with a friend.
The only rental available was a modest 3-bedroom house, but at almost $600 a week, it's well over her budget.
The money that I get from the government, I'll be lucky if I have I think I've calculated $112 a fortnight after I pay the rent. And that's to cover electricity, what else? Telstra account, all the other bills that come, like the car registrations, everything.
Like 1.7 million other Australians, Andrea qualifies for the government's rental assistance. That's tied to inflation, so it has increased over the past year, but it's not linked to rental prices. Where Andrea lives, rents have spiked 21% over the past year.
The sad reality is we were being priced out of the market. When I started looking, it was okay. We were looking at ones within our budget, weren't we? We just didn't even, there was 100 people at the inspections.
How helpful have you found rent assistance?
Oh, it's not at all. Not at all. It's $47 for a fortnight for $570 a week. It doesn't even cover our milk and bread for the week. It's ridiculous. You can't expect the rental market to go up with such substantial increases and then expect everyone to be able to cover that.
Australians everywhere are feeling the pinch, with inflation tracking towards 7%. Michael Fotheringham, who leads the National Housing and Urban Institute, says the government's rent assistance program is inadequate and is in urgent need of reform.
If it's more precisely targeted to those on low incomes relative to their rental costs, then you can have a much more efficient system that has benefits for those who need it most.
Labor's priority is easing the supply crunch. The leading cause of the spike in rents is the lack of housing, and Labor plans to spend $10 billion to build 20,000 homes in 5 years, but it may not be enough.
On current projections, this is going to help solve the problem, and it's certainly great to have a long-term sort of option and income stream to build more social and affordable housing on the table through this fund. But it's a fraction of probably what's needed, and I think on current estimates, maybe around a tenth of what's needed.
Economist Angela Jackson believes rent assistance is no longer fit for purpose.
So it's simply not adequate. It's not covering enough of their costs, and it means that households, low-income households in particular, are in significant financial stress.
In a statement to 7:30, the government would not confirm whether any changes would be made to rent assistance. If it hadn't been for an act of kindness, Maggie Shambrook wouldn't be living under this converted Queenslander.
To be honest with you, I couldn't find anywhere else. There was just no other options.
At 66, Maggie has had to settle for renting part of a share house because she says she can't afford to rent her own place. But rent here is still expensive, more than Maggie's pension can cover.
All my savings and much of my super gone. Because there's no way that you can actually pay to live on those sorts of money. I don't have much left. I've got, about 50-odd thousand. That's not much. And if I live longer, then I won't have anything. That the shared equity could be different amounts for different people too.
She started a support group on social media to help women facing similar predicaments and has been overwhelmed by the response.
Women are coming to this edge and then falling off into homelessness, and that's a terrible situation. What we need to do is build fences at the top of the cliff.
Experts say more elderly Australians like Maggie will be renting for the rest of their lives, while the whole rental market faces more pain ahead.
Certainly in terms of the stock of social housing, Australia really has dropped away in the last 20 to 30 years.
We are sleepwalking into a bigger problem. There is no quick fix. It's taken us decades to get to the point we're at. It'll take us a couple of decades to get back out of it. And that's just inevitable. The scale of the problem is huge.
Back in Queensland, Andrea Ferris is now studying to be a nurse and is hopeful of a better life.
You ready? Good job, buddy. This is hopefully going to be my last rental. I aim to go back to full-time work with my degree, and my next place I'll hopefully be able to buy a property and not be put in this position again.